Welcome to Kingdom Nation. I'm your host, Dr. Latricia Roberts. Listen, we have an awesome show for you, but as always, before we get started, let me introduce none other than my sister in the Lord, the Apostle.
Oh, hello, my sister.
I just threw it on my sister. I want that
That was awesome.
Kingdom Nation.
Kingdom Nation.
Listen, we're back in your living rooms, and good afternoon to everybody since
Yes.
we're now a daytime talk show.
Yes, we
Second
are.
season. We are so grateful for God. We have a really good show for you today.
Yes.
We have a special guest. We're going to bring her in a few minutes. But before we do, a lot of times we hear about different pastors and ministers
Yes.
getting caught up in the whole tax thing, right?
Yes.
And so today we're going to be talking about church finances or ministry finances. And so this lady is an expert, if you will, when it comes to dealing with God's money. Hello,
Yes,
somebody.
yes.
I wanted to give me some when she get here.
Yeah.
But dealing with God's money, and so watch this, as pastors, as ministry leaders, we need to make sure our business is in order. Am I
That
right?
is so true. Yes, it is so crucial in this hour because nobody really wants to be in trouble with
Right.
the IRS.
Come on, come on.
So we
They'll shut you
definitely-
down, your church down,
Yes,
everything. Right. You won't
everything
have
be
anything.
locked down.
Right.
Yes,
So listen, it's going to be a phenomenal show. So call your pastoral friends. You watch this, your evangelist, because now she's even going to deal with the love gift. Come on now. Come on
Yes.
now. We know how we do that. Or your honorarium. And so
Yes.
ministry leaders, be it you 501c3 or you're doing it, on your own or whatever the case is, we need you to come back and watch this show. It's going to be amazing. We'll be right back after this.
Touch the rainbow.
Welcome back to Kingdom Nation. I'm your host, Dr. Latricia Roberts, and let me introduce our very special guest today, none other than Pastor Elise Barnett. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. You have been kingdomized. You have been kingdomized. They should let us loose. But nevertheless, we got some good stuff to talk to you about, and so we want to jump right into, tell us a little bit about Pastor Elise.
Pastor Elise has had a phenomenal journey.
Come on.
I started my journey back in 1995 when I was sitting in church all comfortable one day, and the Lord said, I want you to teach. And I said, okay. So what he did was he took me on a journey, and I considered it a journey.
Mm-hmm.
He put me in various churches so that I could see the spirit of excellence as it pertained to the worship and the word. So I was never allowed to get comfortable because I was really just really seeing what I needed to see. So I had to grab what I needed to get because I was off to the next place. In 2002, he released us to start ministering. So my children and I have been ministering since 2002. We've been ministering at various conferences and workshops and really just encouraging the saints of God just to continue in the journey, not to give up, don't get discouraged.
Amen. That's awesome. I like what you said.
Yeah.
The children and I. Hello, somebody. So I'm not in this thing by
No.
myself. And
No.
anytime you start really living for Christ and going out there and teaching and preaching, you are on a journey, and He will show you what to do and what not to do. Am I right? So he does show you that.
Yeah.
So he's saying, listen, when I give you the okay to go do this and release you, don't do this, this, and this. I know what you saw or what you've seen, but don't do that. So now tell us a little bit, because we want to get into the finances when it comes to ministries and churches, because a lot of pastors, no matter your title, be it you the senior pastor, apostle, whatever, bishop, of the kitchen or whatever, we all need to know more about how to deal with the finances and getting everything in order.
Yes. So basically, I've been doing taxes since when they used to make the little coupon booklets and send them out to you and had to tear everything apart.
Oh, wow. So a minute.
And God just kind of, eventually I just started a little bit more at the time. My husband encouraged me. He was like, oh, you can do this. And I started doing taxes and eventually ended up going into an actual income tax company.
Okay.
And then eventually starting my own. Again, because of the journey, seeing what I wanted to see, what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do. And I saw a lot of ministers and just self-employed people who were basically not doing things right. I saw people who were bringing me their receipts in bags.
Oh.
So I have to go through the bags. Me and Mountain Dew have a really good time. But but as it relates to churches, I think one of the things that the misconception is again it's about how you organize your business. So a lot of times when we're just starting, we will tend to just start as a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is saying that you and that entity are one. Nothing wrong with it because obviously it's a very inexpensive way of getting into business, starting. But the liability comes in that in the event someone were to come and sue your ministry, then all of your personal assets would be at risk as well because you and that entity are one.
Right.
When you start getting into like your LLCs, then that creates a little more division between you and that entity. And then you can even incorporate. So there's a difference between incorporating as a C corporation or having an S corporation. An S corp is considered as a pass-through entity. Okay. So the entity and the amounts coming through is not taxed itself, but all the income goes straight to the person or the owner. With a corporation, it's double taxed. The entity is taxed and the individual is taxed.
Okay, so say somebody like myself and Apostle, we have a church, but then we also have our own separate ministries. So would it be, what would you suggest if should we do sole proprietor, LLC?
Because everyone in this society loves this girl named Sue.
Oh, Sue.
She just got.
Yes, she did. Oh my goodness.
Come on.
I don't encourage anyone to do a sole proprietorship because of the fact that, again, you and that entity are one. So if Sue comes along, they can take your house, they can take your car, they can take your kids, anything that looks green. So I say I have a boxer's mentality. I was telling you about this Saturday. Protect yourself at all times.
Right.
You and that entity need to be separate. So that if they want to come and bankrupt the entity, that's fine, but at least your personal finances and what you have as far as your personal belongings, they're going to be separate and they're going to be safe.
Okay, so we were talking, go ahead, Apostle, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to ask another question. So you're saying that the example that she used about the church and the separation of individual ministries, so would we set up each individual account separate for the church and the individual ministry?
If they're doing, the good thing about, I would do an S corp, because with an S corporation, you can do like subsidiaries.
Okay, that's good.
So you might have ABC Ministry is a subsidiary of XYZ Ministry, and that way you can create like a parent company, and you can have your child companies, and they can come underneath. So they have that coverage.
So they're under that umbrella.
Under that umbrella,
right?
That one entity.
Okay.
That's what I would encourage. And then with the S corporation, the S corporation can designate to where the minister is an employee, and then they can receive a W-2 from the entity.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. See, I learned something just now.
Right.
Because I know a lot of pastors who are actually still, even if they are out there in the mission field, having a church, or if they're just strictly, ministry versus church, are using their personal checking accounts. Exactly. And I know that's a no-no, right?
Well, you want to be careful with that as well.
Okay.
Because when you're filling out a Schedule C, one of the questions that they ask is, how do you determine the difference between the two?
Right.
So how do they know if you're putting all your money in one pot? How do you distinguish what's what? So I tell people, you know what? Let's just separate the pots. Okay. And then there's no confusion. It doesn't cost that much to get a separate, even if you don't want to get a business account, because business accounts have separate fees and everything.
And requirements,
and two different checking accounts.
Right.
You can get a PayPal account that has, you can get a business card for that and just use your PayPal account even as a separate entity. Again, it's separate. You can take the money from the PayPal. You can send it to your checking account or pay yourself. you can do that, but at least you can have a separate accounting of what's business,
Right.
what's personal.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's,
yes.
and using PayPal would be so convenient.
Yes.
So that's, and Washington, I didn't even know that, so
Yeah, 'cause
listen,
they can pay
you're
you.
just a plethora of
very
knowledge.
much.
Listen, pastors, apostles, ministry leaders,
Yes.
get your stuff in order
Yes.
because we want to make sure we're doing things according to the scriptures, but decently and in order. And so this woman is phenomenal. We'll give you her information. We'll list it below. And that way you can call her. We do get a portion of the monies,
Yeah.
right? We
Exactly.
do. Okay.
Discount.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
little-
Something.
Get a tie.
Listen, we'll be right back with Pastor Elise Barnett in a few minutes. God bless.
When you book with the best leisure airline in North America, you're already on vacation. Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
Welcome back to Kingdom Nation. I'm your host, Dr. Latricia Roberts. We're sitting here with Pastor Elise Barnett. She is a ministry tax guru, if you will.
Yes.
And if you call her right now, we will get a discount. No.
Yeah.
Yes. So during the break, we were talking, and you were making a statement about us getting stuff in order. What do you remember what you said?
We were talking about just even with organizing our accounts. A lot of times when ministries are just starting out, again, we have to transform our thinking.
That's
And
good.
just
That's
Because
good.
we start small, we don't have
Ooh,
to be
ooh, ooh.
perceived as small.
Well, when you can send an offering, no, I'm just kidding.
So that means we need to take time and we need to properly prepare. So again, even as I was talking about before, when you're going out on speaking engagements, you can take 5-10 minutes to set up a PayPal account. With the PayPal account, you can get a business card that have a business debit card that has your ministry name on it, and then people can contribute to your ministry.
Yeah,
And then once
that's
people
good.
contribute to your ministry can pay you personally.
I like
Okay,
it.
that's good.
So,
I like it.
Again, we
Good.
just want to make sure that we're perceived in a particular way. We want to come out as excellent. We want to make sure.
That's right. That's good.
That, again, as I said, even though we are small, we don't perceive ourselves as small, and we don't carry ourselves
In a small manner. Right.
Because it doesn't matter where you're doing ministry. Again, you could be in your living room, you could be anywhere, but once it hits the public, they should never have a small-minded ministry mentality.
I love
Yes,
it.
Because
wonderful.
Christ
I
is
love it.
global, he's worldwide.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
So when you do that, when you set yourselves up, again, it has to be with a global focus in mind. How do I look professional?
Come on now.
That's
And
right,
God is
on
excellent.
paper.
So we were talking about that before. Don't put God's name on junk.
On junk. And so that means I'm going to sign up and get my fictitious name.
Yes.
That means I'm going to go set up a checking account, whether you do PayPal or go to your bank. And like she was saying earlier, if you don't want to do the business account, you still can open another account with the ministry name on it. It's just not a business account, if you will. That way you can keep track. And the word we were looking for a minute ago was having that paper trail,
Yes,
right?
right.
So that if for some ungodly reason, we pray it never happens,
Right.
the IRS begins to look at you. You can distinguish
Yes.
between the two and say this what happened and this, and this.
Yes.
And please stop putting y'all stuff in paper bags. Don't play. Well, now it's probably
Oh
the
my
little
God.
plastic bags.
I get plastic bags.
Shoe
I
boxes.
get shoe boxes. I get plastic containers. I get envelopes. It just comes. So like I said, me and Mountain Dew just have a party, and I just put my earphones in and pop Mountain Dew and just
keep it moving
going.
and keep it. So apparently she loves numbers. So tell us, how can the people get in contact with you?
If you need to get in touch with me, my business name is STL Tax Solutions, and you can reach me at 314-474-3855. That's 314-474-3855, or you can reach me on the web at www.stltaxsolutions.com.
Now, do they have to be in St. Louis? Do they have to be?
Not.
No. So
It's
you're
the World Wide Web.
Well,
you
wonderful.
cannot come on my show and come for me. I don't even appreciate it. So watch, there's a whole nother side to this woman, and I did peep your plates. It does say STL tax on it. I thought it was cute. But this woman is also a author, and I know once she says the name of her book, and I know we're shifting real quick to your taxes, any financial questions, she'll gladly help you. Maybe set up a counseling session with you to make sure you're a paid counseling session.
Yes.
Paid, because you know some of us a paid counseling session. So she can help you get everything situated. We'll give her information and we'll list it below. But this woman is also an author.
Yes.
And so when you hear the name of the book, it's going to hit you real quick and then you're going to come back and go, wow. Because it did me like that Saturday. Give us the topic or the title of your book.
The title of the book is Love Lifted Me. What I learned about marriage after divorce.
Did you hear that? What I learned about marriage after the divorce. That's a phenomenal topic. When she said it to me Saturday, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people, unfortunately, in church who's going through divorce. And so they're going, how can I make it after this? How can I do this? What do I need to do? What are my next steps? First of all, how can I put myself back together?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. That's the key. And for me, it really was God lifted me. Really, my testimony is obviously that I got married at 20. I got divorced at 40.
Wow.
In the space of 6 months, I found out my husband was having an affair. He moved out. My mom passed in our house. We had to leave her house. We had to leave our house and move into her house. So I transitioned from being a full-time stay-at-home mom to having to go to work. And fortunately, because I had these skills as a tax preparer, what I call a rainy day fund.
Right.
I had those rainy day skills so that I was actually able to transition from the home to a career and be able to keep afloat while we went through the divorce
But we're
process.
looking at a span of 20 years.
20 years.
That's a lot of meshing, if you will.
It is.
That's a lot of how, and we know it was the Lord,
It was.
but the pieces, because I'm sure they were all over the place.
Yes, they were.
How did God begin to gather those? Because you can't tell us every single step.
Yeah.
But did it take much prayer?
It took a lot of prayer. It basically, one day, I will share this with you, one day, because I was still fighting for the marriage. I was fighting in prayer. I knew that the effectual fervent prayers of the righteous
Availeth much.
So I knew that I had power in my prayer.
Come on.
And so I was sitting in my bathroom one day, and God just said, let him go. And so my prayer to him, my conversation with him was, how do I let him go? So it wasn't so much that I didn't want to let go, I didn't know how to. And so this was one of those things for me that God had to do for me. And he showed me that one of the last things that I had to give up was hope.
Wow.
So hope had to die.
Wow.
I was believing, I was one of those Christians that I believe that even if we went through the whole divorce process, even at the last minute, God could turn the
Right.
around. I believed, I had faith to do that. And so God just told me to let it go. And so that was the last thing. And so basically what I did was one day I went into the bathroom, and I literally wept until I was just sore. And it felt like with every tear, God emptied me.
Yeah, because that was that process.
Until I got empty. And when I was empty, the tears stopped, and I was able to let it go.
Go ahead.
So when love lifted you, what was the process that you had to begin after he emptied you out?
After he emptied me out, first of all, I had to realize I was in a pit of depression. So I had to go through the whole grieving process. I had to go through the anger. I had to go through the bitterness. I had to go through the questionings. I had to go through grieving the loss. And then finally, I had to accept the loss.
That's good.
And then after I accepted the loss, because I'm a fighter.
Yes.
So, I talk about in the book that even as a fighter, God was my towel man. So he had to throw in the towel for me because I was going to keep fighting. I was going to keep fighting.
Come on, that's good. That's good.
Enough.
Right.
Enough. So he threw in the towel for me, and that's a hard thing for a fighter to stop fighting.
Right. That's good.
Yes,
I came from a family where I saw my mom and dad stay together till death do us part. When I went in, that was my thought. It was going to be till death do us part. And then I had to give up until death do us part. I had to let go of my dream. I had to let go of the hope. And then once those pieces were taken care of, then God was able to show me who I was apart from him. And then that's where the building began. Because again, we were one flesh. So now I needed to see what I was like by myself.
By yourself, right.
She was okay.
Wow.
She was okay, but the part where you said you had to be emptied out of hope, a lot of times God waits for us to empty ourselves out, and that's why sometimes He doesn't move the way we want Him to move, or when we, and I don't want to say when we need Him, but those times because we haven't really emptied ourselves, so there's still some of us in there. And so I remember one time in particular saying, God, I can't do nothing else. I'm just done. He said, now I can work. He said, now I can work. Because had I been able to do it, I'd have took the credit.
Come on, that's good.
Come on.
Because we have to remember that God is going to get the glory out of our story.
Right.
Nobody else. And so when we think about that, we have to consider that nobody else is going to get the credit. So He allows us to go through that process that we can't do nothing else.
Nothing else. Watch this. Our back is against the wall. Watch this. We tired of swinging. There's no more swinging left. You're a fighter, so you understand. So whoever's watching, if you're going through that, and I know a lot of people to our unchurched that are watching, this will help you. Listen, we'll be right back after this.
Sit.
Come on, girl, sit.
Sit. Let's try some bacon. Sit. Come on. You know you want it.
I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Do you think you can get a movie at the video store faster than Netflix? Let's race. 1, 2, 3, go. Congratulations, you lost. Care for a rematch? Fine. 1, too bad, lost again. One more try? Really? Sorry, no. But don't feel bad, because nothing can get you movies and TV episodes faster than Netflix. For just $8 a month, instantly watch movies and TV episodes through a variety of devices like the Wii, Xbox, PS3, and more. Get your free 1-month trial at Netflix.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Kingdom Nation. I'm your host, Dr. Latricia Roberts, and to my left, I have our phenomenal guest, Pastor Elise. I want to call her Neil. I don't know why, and that's an actress. But Pastor Elise Barnett, and on the far end is none other than our co-host, Pastor Apostle Dr. I don't know why you get the phenomenal introduction, and I just said, hey, it's me, everybody. Apostle Tanya Stewart. Listen, before we went to break, we were talking to this phenomenal woman about her book, but I wanted to make sure that you all come back and really reach out to her when it deals with your ministry finances, how to set it up where your church can put everything under one umbrella and have subsidiaries so nobody will be in trouble because, as she said, Sue might show up. You ain't saying nothing. And she has, watch this, I even heard about a church getting sued because somebody got a stain off their dress off the pew. Now, you know that's too much. That's entirely petty, right? That's entirely too much. We done got dirty and fell out at the church, hit our head, and I didn't sue nobody, But so things are changing, and we have to make sure that we're covered. So again, she's here, a tax ministry and church person, guru. You can call her. Can you give them your number again?
Sure. The number again is 314-474-3855.
And listen, you call her. No matter where you're in the country, she can help you all over the world. Just know I'm getting a discount when y'all call. But we want to jump back into her book because just the title alone can help anybody. So we're here at Kingdom Nation. Our job is to make sure the kingdom is pushed, but we're also about souls. Yes. And so here, this is something that a lot of people, whether you saved or unsaved, you don't even know who God is, whatever the case is, this particular subject is hitting home to a lot of people, and they need to know that they can order your book and listen. So contact her for that. So if you need your taxes done and you need this book because you need to put this in your library, it will bless your soul. And so before we went to break, we was talking about some of the things you had to deal with in the process you had to go through, and the emptying out of yourself of hope. That thing just messed with me. I'm sorry. Which is why I'm bringing it up. It was amazing the way you worded that. Yeah. You have to empty out hope because Abraham said, I hoped against hope. And now you're saying I had to empty out hope. Yeah. And because, watch this, she had to hear God's voice in order for her to get to this level. So we have people out there who have not gotten to that place. That's right. And we still have to speak to them and say, listen, I know you're going through some trying times, but God can bless you.
Yeah.
Was there anybody in your corner that was there to hold your hand or walk you through this process, or were you literally by yourself?
No, I had some wonderful prayer partners that were there to support me. They were people who knew us both.
Okay.
So supported us both, even in our separate decisions. They still supported us. Like I said, for me, it was such a trying time because a lot of things were happening at once. So again, I'm going through a divorce. I'm having to wrap my mind around that, and then before I could really wrap my mind around that, then I have to go and bury my mother. And then a friend of mine said, "Well, are you going to do her eulogy?" And I said, "Are you crazy?" And God strengthened me to do that, so I ended up doing the eulogy too. So we really made it our goal and our intent to give her a homegoing. We wanted to make sure that the atmosphere was really, really
Conducive
for praise, because the Bible tells us that we're supposed to rejoice when you go home. We're not supposed. It's not supposed. We mourn when we come in. We rejoice when we go out. We wanted to make sure that we gave her a homegoing.
Right.
Again, I had wonderful prayer partners around me, people who were praying with me for the reconciliation, and so they basically had to get a word from me to stop.
Wow.
That's powerful. So it's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to ask you this. Why didn't you lose your mind?
Well, as the old adage says, I'm saved, I'm sanctified, I'm clothed in my right.
Come on.
And we talk about being clothed. It's when someone is clothed, it means they were provided with something by somebody else.
Ooh, that's good.
Mind.
Come on, that's good.
I could have gave it up too, but my children needed me to keep my mind.
That's good.
So I had to keep my mind in that situation, and then the fact that I had to realize that if I kept my mind on him, he'd keep me in perfect peace. Yeah. And I needed his peace to ride.
But now we're going to keep it 100. We're going to keep it 100. When you're going through things like that, as women, and I'm sure this is not just for women, but I know for women, we start thinking, what did I do? Could I have done it better? Why? Could I change his mind? I mean, what did I do? What did I do wrong? And as women, we beat ourselves up like that. And so when I say, why didn't you lose your mind? Because now the enemy brings distractions like this, which is a major distraction, to shift us from looking at God. And you find yourself looking towards God. So there was something already in you. But for my ones that are unsaved, listen, God can take you through this as well. This might be your opportunity to get to know the Savior. He won't let you lose your mind. This was a hard thing, and then have to turn around and bury your mother. My God.
In the process, and got through all of that, and got through her service, and then after that we were evicted. I forgot that.
Oh,
we were evicted as well.
Joe.
So,
Joe, should I say Jovina? Look, well, like Javette, right? My God, and while you was yet speaking, come on now.
So we went through all of that in the course of 6 months.
Wow.
I'm okay. Speechless. I think we mentioned the other day these light afflictions, but this wasn't a light thing.
It really was.
It wasn't a light thing, and so, and during this process, and I'm sure there was some tossing and turning at night, some crying on that pillow. You know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact God can wipe away every tear. Hello, somebody. Every tear. One of the best sleep I've ever had. I was crying. I had some church hurt going on. And baby, I was crying and tossing and turning on my bed, and I felt the Holy Ghost just cover me. That was some of the best sleep I've ever had, and he wiped the tears. But you're getting to a place of healing when the tears stop rolling. And so we want to talk about, wait a minute, we're almost out of time.
Oh my
Listen, we're going to have to do a part two to this. Listen, watch this. So we're going to end the show, but we're not going to end the show, if you will. So there will be a part two with Pastor Elise Barnett. Listen, we love you here at Kingdom Nation. You can always watch us on YouTube. Go back and rewatch the shows. Make sure you get all the nuggets out. Listen, there's going to be a part two. We love you. God bless.